Hello and welcome to the Lorna Marie Fitness Podcast, the show where we talk all things fitness, health, mindset and lifestyle to help you become fitter, healthier and happier. I help busy people who lack time, motivation and self-belief to look and feel great again. If you want to work with me, head over to lornamariefitness.co.uk, but for now, enjoy this episode. Murray, a very, very warm welcome to the podcast. It is great to have you here on Meet the Squaddies.
Thank you.
I know a lot about your journey and the adventures you've been on, and of course, I want you to tell whatever you want to tell in as much detail as you like. But I know that your stories are so inspiring, so I'm really excited to have you here. But first, I feel like we should start off with, so Murray, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who's Murray? What do you do? What did you do? And we'll go from there.
Alrighty. Name is Murray. Live near Nottingham. 67. Been married to Tina for 43 years. I know, we can't figure it out either. And have a son, 30-year-old son, Fraser. I'm retired. I was a senior manager for a large European group, and now I just enjoy spending time with close friends, cycling, swimming, hiking, and playing a bit of golf.
And coming to the 6:30 lives, Lorna's online squad.
Lives, yeah, regular feature. Yeah, no, the squad played a big part in my well-being. Love it.
Oh, good. Well, we love having you as well, Murray. So I would love to know, where did you, because I know you're so into your fitness, where did you first get started in fitness? Was there a certain point where you really started to get into it? Tell us a little bit about your journey, your fitness journey.
It sounds really strange, but I probably have always been on a fitness journey. Started younger days on the Isle of Skye. That's where we lived. Before there was a bridge, so it was a very quiet island, and you could just go out. And the whole island was a playground, so we'd spend all day out, and then someone would find you at the end of the day and guide you back, or put you in a little rowing boat and take you out for a row, whatever. So we were always very active, and then we moved down to Nottingham, and circumstances had changed. We didn't have very much money, so we had to use a lot of imagination. So we'd go out and play, and there were brickyards nearby, which were dumping grounds. And strangely, people used to throw bike frames away. So we'd pick up an old bike frame and find a pair of wheels and make something that was like a bike. It might not have any brakes or occasionally no saddle. Yeah, so we were always doing adventurous stuff, playing in the parks, climbing trees, all that. But actual fitness, I hated cross country at school, got caught cheating, taking a shortcut with half a dozen other guys. And we had to wait until everyone had finished. And then the athletics teacher who ran for Notts Athletics Club took us the whole route round. That taught us a very good lesson. We never did that again. So started playing club rugby at 17 and started to get into fitness, but nobody went to a gym back then. There weren't gyms. The only people that went to gyms were bodybuilders. So the fitness training side came from all the fitness training we did with the club Tuesday and Thursday nights, Sunday mornings, plus matches on a Saturday. And for some reason, even though I hated cross country, I decided to start jogging. I don't know why. When I was about 17, 18, and I used to run along the road being abused, basically, because nobody ran. There were no other joggers, and it was a weird thing. There weren't proper running shoes, so I had some strange-looking trainers that I used to run in, but I started to really enjoy fitness. Then I went away for a couple of years traveling, which was a very formative experience, brilliant. But when I came back, I was really underweight, didn't realize it, and didn't have any muscles. Started playing rugby when I shouldn't have done, broke my legs, snapped ligaments, and over the next 10 years, had numerous knee injuries and operations. So slowly got injured out of rugby. And then I took up running in my 30s, I think. Yeah, just used to run for fun, 5K or 10K pretty much most days, and just used to really enjoy that. I guess in my 40s, I got into cycling, um, cycled London to Paris, and really enjoyed that. That was with Royal British Legion, so we did a fundraiser for them, and I did lots of fundraisers for British Heart Foundation, cycling in Peak District and Vale of Beaver. Then in the 50s, got into one or two cold expeditions, and then into triathlon, and then full distance Ironman, and 5K open water swims, and excuse me. Then I did the crazy bike ride with some lovely friends in France, up into Switzerland and over the Alps a couple of years ago.
You
So
did. How far was that, Marie?
I think I did a quarter. They were doing 2,000 miles, Oxford to Malta, and
Okay.
and they were cycling for 4 weeks, 6 days a week. So they had one day off, and I did one of those weeks. So I guess it was about 500 miles from memory. But it was the temperature. It was when it was the heat wave. So we cycled through one village in France, and the pharmacy, they always have those signs outside that give you the temperature, and it said 49. We knew we were cooking, but it was absolutely crazy. So yeah, so we're doing some distance, doing some climbing, but in insane temperatures. So it's quite an adventure. And I thought I was not able to do it, but they dragged me through that whole experience and really made me, and really pushed me out of my comfort zone, which I'm really grateful for because it was a terrific experience.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I mean, you've just touched on a few things there. Like, yeah, in my 50s, I did full Ironman, and then I did this. Like, these are massive things. I would love to know, I'm sure a lot of people would, how, obviously, these are really tough challenges. How do you keep yourself going when the going gets tough?
That's a good one. I think I've always had a stubborn mindset, so and I don't like giving up, which helps. Built-in resilience from childhood, I guess. You know, it was not the easiest of upbringings, bit of a troubled teenager, and the traveling sorted me out, and I started to see life in a good perspective and realize that I could do challenges if I really put my mind to it. I did some weird stuff when while I was traveling that I never expected to do, but that's all the part of the formative experience. And started to realize that I did have some resilience. I did have a strong mind. Body wasn't always as strong. Let me down a few times, but by and large, yeah, just developed a strong mindset. And I think because of the injuries that I'd had, I used to have to do rehab, and I always used to picture not today, not the nasty physio that I had to do or the pain from the op or anything like that. I could picture my mind forward 9 months to when it would all be over and I'd be back to full health. So that's what I used to do when I was doing challenges as well. Forget the pain. It's only temporary, and you know, picture how it would feel at the end. Picture the whole experience as something enjoyable rather than torturous, because it was my choice to do it. Uh, but yeah, I mean, we did Land's End to John O'Groats. That was a fundraiser for the Paralympic team, British Paralympic teams. There were 500 riders on there. Um, that was averaging 112 miles a day, and it was hard. It was very hard because we also had a sickness bug going through, so we were suffering a little bit from that, and the organisers took us over as every set of hills in the UK, just about. And it was tough going, but you could always picture forward, always picture the end and how good it would feel at the end. And that's possibly how I do it. Somebody, a very experienced triathlete, gave me one or two tips for handling the mind numbing boredom of long distance cycling and running, which not everybody likes, and it wasn't my favorite. But if you start at 500 and count back in nines or sevens, it's
Oh
hard.
my gosh.
uh, you're just playing mind games. You're just playing tricks on your mind to take your mind off the present, and whatever it might be, number games like that, or just picturing forwards. But yeah, little tricks like that. Plus, as I say, have a stubborn mentality.
Yeah. I always remember people saying to me, you know, before big challenges, oh, just enjoy it. And before you think, right, yeah, whatever, I'm absolutely pooping my pants, just enjoy it. But actually, when you're doing it, you think, oh, just enjoy it. I think sometimes it's a thought of doing these things rather than actually doing them themselves. And I think that feeling that you feel at the end of doing a challenge, it's like no other. And it can be quite addictive, can't it? Because you just feel so proud of yourself and
Yeah,
can't believe what you've achieved, that you actually you want to go out there and do it again. It's a feeling like no other.
yeah,
Well,
and I think it helps develop your self belief,
mm,
which is critical. A lot of people, me too, don't have didn't have the best self belief, and a lot of people lack confidence. And I was never any good. I'll be clear, I was never really any good at a lot of the stuff that I did. I was okay as a runner, but a lot of the other stuff I did, I wasn't particularly good at it, but I did it.
mm,
And I would strongly advise anybody to, if they're thinking about doing anything, just do it.
yeah.
Just do it. It doesn't matter if you're any good or not. I did my Ironman. I had to race walk it because I wasn't running in those days. I had to stop running. It looked very strange to spectators, but actual triathletes, participants were great and they were so supportive, just because they know what you go through, the training, the effort, and yeah, very encouraging. So I would pass that on to anybody. Just give anything a go that you're thinking about doing it. Do it.
But one thing that keeps coming through, Murray, is your resilience. You know, as you said, you didn't run it because you couldn't at the time, so you walked it. There was no stopping you. You were gonna do it no matter what. You'd not give up. And I think that's really it's really amazing. It's a fantastic trait to have. What would you say has been one of your toughest challenges that you've done?
um, well, apart from the Yorkshire Three Peaks last year,
That
and the step challenge with the pod squad, that was a beauty.
was fun.
Yeah. Two things stand out, I think, if I look back. Three things, if I'm honest, three things. The bike ride a couple of years ago in Europe, because I really only expected to ride with them maybe one day and spend the rest of the time in the van. I would think about sailing across the Atlantic when I was doing my traveling. I'd never done any sailing. That was full on scary. Um, and one of the cold trips that we've discussed before, walking to the South Pole a good few years ago as well. Um,
Gosh.
Out of my comfort zone. I think that's what I think about when I think about those things. Everything I've done just about has been out of my comfort zone, but those in particular sort of stand out as way out of my comfort zone. Absolutely no idea why I was there. What am I doing here? But it's too
Oh,
late. It can't back out. Get on with it.
yep, that's it. Gosh, South Pole as well. Can you tell us a little bit more about that one, Murray? That's incredible.
That was 16 years ago, and it's quite funny how it came about. I'd always had an interest in the Antarctic and the old explorers, Shackleton, Scott, etc. But just a romantic notion about them, the idea of exploring somewhere as remote as that. And one day I had a phone call from one of the football dads insisting that he'd met somebody who was going to go to the South Pole. He's looking for people. Here's his number. Give him a call. So I did. And the guy said, that's rubbish. I'm not going to the South Pole, but I am going to the Arctic, in top end of Norway, doing crossing over the Finnmark Plateau, if you want to join me. So I did. Um, Similar, way out of my comfort zone. We had atrocious weather, beast from the east year, and he thought I handled that okay. It's exceptionally cold. It was normally between 5 and 15 below, and we were getting 36, 37 below,
Wow.
plus wind, and just horrid.
Yeah.
So he did invite me to join him on his next expedition to the South Pole as a result of that. So uh, fast forward a little way, a lot of training, a lot of pulling tires around fields. I used to do 2 hours a day, 4 a.m. to 6 a.m., pulling tires just to strengthen up, get used to the feel of pulling a sledge, and did a lot to raise money to pay for the trip and for children in need. Raised about 14, 15K for them at the time.
It's
And
amazing.
yeah, off we went and did it. It was tremendous.
Gosh. Wow. Did you get chill blades? That's all I can think of. That's so cold. No, what what a challenge. So when you were walking, how many hours were you walking a day?
To begin with, I must explain. There's a long journey and a short one. We did the short one, which is a bit of a cheat, but nevertheless, it's still fairly full on. And to start that walk, the South Pole is actually at altitude. It's um, over 9,000 feet. Most people think it's at sea level. So we flew from the edge in light aircraft to a drop place, up onto the polar plateau. So we're starting about 7.5, 8,000 feet up. So you go from sea level to that. It's very cold, very cold. You've gone from maybe -5, -10 to -30, 35. And you're at altitude and you start pulling sledges, and it's tough. So the first day or 2 or 3, I can't recall, we only did 4.5 hours of pulling, and that was broken into 1.5 hour stints. So you'd pull for 1.5 hours, have a maximum of 5 minutes for a break,
Mm.
because you get too cold if you take any longer, and get cracking again. So we just did maybe 3. And as we acclimatized a little bit, 1 or 2 people had altitude sickness. I got a chest infection, a bit of frostbite. We all had frost nip, which is like an intermediate stage. We all had huge blisters on our feet. And we got to doing 4 stints, so 6 hours, and maybe 5 stints on a really long day. But we were all fairly fit, but we were fairly shattered just doing that.
Gosh, I'm shattered at the thought of that. I never mind doing it.
The
So
good the good
I,
point was that we got to eat tons of chocolate because we had to somehow cram in four, I can't remember now. I think it was 4 to 6 thousand calories because we were burning 1 or 2 thousand more than that. So in the evening we'd have a meal, and then you'd have to have 3 or 4 cups of hot chocolate, which sounds nice, but after a while, and then lots more chocolate bars and nuts, just to get the calories in readiness for the next day. Otherwise, you just wouldn't be able to function. Yeah, the sledge with all the chocolate on was a popular one.
I'd be pulling that one for sure. I was thinking that though, obviously you're moving a lot, you're pulling a heavy load,
Yeah.
and your body's just trying to survive and keep warm, and that's going to use up so much energy all the time. So 4 to 6 thousand calories a day,
Mm,
4,000 to 6,000 calories a day.
mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
gosh,
yeah.
what an achievement though. And how much money? 14, 15,000 pounds for children
Yes,
in need.
yeah,
That's just phenomenal. That's
yeah,
incredible.
yeah. I know it was very good, very challenging, very satisfying. and yeah, just a brilliant experience. Never thought that would come about, and yeah, it's just opportunities come along, and it's taking them. But it's about taking the opportunity. I could easily have not made that call, and the nice thing is, if we can just blather on a little, the guy that led the expedition got into the outdoors as a result of doing something in the 80s called Rally International. Or when he did it, when Mike did it, it was Operation Rally. And when I came back from traveling, I went to a talk by a guy, army guy, Blashford Snell, Lieutenant Colonel Blashford Snell, and he was trying to generate uh, interest in Operation Rally. It was aimed at 17 to 24-year-olds, get them out traveling, but get them out doing expeditions in different parts of the world, 3-month expeditions, and they would do some community work, some adventure stuff, and brilliant experience. And Mike had done this, and he'd been selected from a weekend where I was an assessor. So we found this out, during conversations, and it's just a really sweet circular.
Yeah.
That had got him into the outdoors, and then many years later, I bump into him, and he marches me off to the South Pole. So yeah, it's terrific.
Oh gosh, that is really nice actually.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. That's absolutely amazing, Marie. You never cease to amaze me, even on the online classes, but the amount you do and how and the variety you do and how well you keep yourself. What does your weekly routine sort of look like now
Now,
in terms of your fitness? Yeah.
well, I think through talking to you, I've calmed down a bit. I'm doing less, and better quality, I think, and more balanced. I used to do a lot too much cardio. I ignored strength, and I dabbled with flexibility. I've done Pilates for a long time, so I was very happy doing Pilates. Very keen on that. But yeah, I used to do too much cardio, and then Will introduced the journal. And what I really like about that, it's color coded, and I'm quite a visual person. So at the top, as you know, it tells you how many strength, how many cardio, how many holistic you've done. And it gives you the quantity of classes that you're doing that week or plan to do. So you can see if you're out of balance. And I try roughly to balance them up. So that brought up my strength, and it brought up my attempts to get more flexible, do more holistic classes like yoga. And that's been great. So I plan out, it takes me 5 minutes to plan my fitness week. It's a doddle. And all I do is just turn up, and you've got the classes done and dusted. So I just turn up and do them. And it's great now with the 20-minute ones. So if I do 3 a day, that's only an hour, and I can do one of each: strength, fitness, strength, holistic, and cardio. So that's a balanced day for me. At the moment, I'm probably just trying to beef up my cycling. So I'm doing a few more cycle on demand to try and get ready for cycling this summer.
Yeah.
No events planned, just basically to get fitter. Yeah, so I try and do a nice mix, and I've got favourites like the low impact hip class sculpt. I mean, that's a godsend because I can't do the jumpy stuff. I really struggle with that, but sculpt's brilliant, combat's great fun. Love Pilates, love the yoga escape, and I grudgingly got into doing the stronger classes, the weights-based ones, but now, I really enjoy it. So over the last year or so, even though I've been in the squad for 4 years, over the last year or so, I think I've got a lot more balanced, and I've had a better attitude to nutrition, better attitude to listening to my body. I was never very good at that. So if I don't feel like it, properly don't feel like it, then I might skip a class here or there and not worry about it. So it's quite healthy. So yeah, I'm a black belt in snacking, as we've discussed. So give me a few tips and techniques to limit that. and I'm there or thereabouts. I'm not perfect on that by any stretch, but yeah, it's helped me think differently about nutrition and behave differently. So yeah, it's been quite a journey. It's been really good fun as well.
Oh, that's really good to hear. And it just goes to show the journey never ends. I don't think the journey ever really ends with fitness at all. You just have
No,
a new focus. But I'm really pleased that you said that you're listening to your body, you're respecting your body. And actually by doing that variety, it'll in turn, one, help keep you injury free or injuries at bay.
yes,
And two, make you stronger for your cycling as well. It
yeah,
is all about getting that balance, isn't it? So I'm really glad that that's something you've implemented this past year. It's really good to hear.
yeah. I wish I could have done it 40 years ago. It would have saved me a lot of trouble. But hey, that's it's all part and parcel of the process. But no, it's very, very good. Yeah, thoroughly enjoy it. Wouldn't dream of going back to the gym. Used to go. I'd always been a gym bunny. But oh, the hassle of booking classes. No thanks. Driving there and back. No thanks. Get there, you've forgotten your towel. No thanks. You can't get on the piece of machinery that you want to get on or the weights area. So now it's so time efficient. It's incredible. So I think what we've got going is just brilliant.
Oh, it really is. And it's so good to have you on board as well, Murray. I'm pleased you joined me. I can remember the days when everyone would get so frustrated trying to book on a cycle class or a yoga class, and it was full and there was a waiting list of 15 people. You'd turn up and the room's half empty. That was so frustrating. I can remember that.
Or you turn up and the yoga studio at that gym was full, bursting at the seams, and nobody would admit to being the ones that hadn't actually booked. They just gate crashed it. So
Yeah.
you're doing yoga squashed in a corner somewhere. So no, I don't miss any. I don't miss any of that at all. So yeah, this is brilliant, spot on. And for busy people, I'm retired. I've got all the time in the world. But I still like to be time efficient. But for properly busy people, working people, it's got to be the way to go. So convenient.
Really is. You can just slot it in. And even we've got a lot of retired people in the squad as well. I feel like there's a really even split in the squad actually. A lot of people have said to me that it gives them that structure. So when they're not going to work, it
Yes,
gives them the structure of the day. Get up nice and early, get the workout done, and they have a daily routine just and it's built into it, it becomes the norm. And I think that's really important to have actually.
very. No, it's a very good point. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And same for me. I try and do the 6:30s. That way I've got something in the bag. And then 9:30s if possible, but if not, catch up later. And that's the other good thing is the library of on demand or live replay.
Yeah.
So you can catch up. No, I think it's amazing what's happened over the last 4 years. What you guys have done, brilliant.
It's been a journey, hasn't it? It's been a proper journey.
Yeah, but it's yeah. And talking about the 4 year celebrations, people are suggesting get some of the old videos out. I think that would be hilarious.
Oh gosh, yeah. Will's first class, that was toilet roll aerobics. And everyone had to bring a toilet roll. And some people were saying, but the toilet roll's sacred at the moment. Do you remember?
Yes, in
You couldn't get hold
lockdown.
of toilet roll.
No, no, everybody ordering 4 tons of the stuff off Amazon.
I think my grandma had it all. I went to her house and she was hoarding it in the garage. Sorry, grandma, if you listen to this. Oh, well, Murray, I would love to know what what are you working towards this year? Is it just you said you're working towards your cycle fitness? Is it just to enjoy it, find that balance?
Yeah,
Where are you going with your fitness journey?
yeah. It's this year's probably unusual. I normally have quite a lot of goals in the diary, but this year I don't. I would like to do a long distance walk for Macmillan, one of their 26-miler marathon walks.
Yeah.
I haven't picked one yet, but I would like to do that. I enjoyed getting walking fit last year for the Three Peaks. I wasn't doing enough walking, and that really helped. I really enjoyed the walking. So, and that slipped, and I'd like to get back into that. Yeah, we've talked about getting fit for cycling, and I still swim with the triathlon club, and occasionally cycle with them. And I didn't do very much outdoor cycling last year at all, so I'm wanting to build up to get back out on the road with those guys. So I can do 2 out of the 3. I can cycle with them, still swim with them, and then just leave other people to do the running. So yeah, so it's just general overall well-being, fitness, mind and body. Yeah, keeping things in check, weight in check, keeping my body and mind in good shape.
No, that's really good. That is good. And that, I think that's that consistency, isn't it? It's nice
Yeah,
to sometimes work towards keeping consistent and maintaining. And I think, yeah, that's all really, really good. By the way, sorry if you could hear my dog snoring.
no,
He's at my feet and he's making some really weird noises. I just gave him a little push, like, stop. Um, and just going back to the walk, stay tuned on that one. I've got something in the pipeline. I know Macmillan do their mighty hikes, don't they? So we're going to be doing another big walk with the squad. Yeah, 20 miler or so. So I'm
excellent.
currently organizing that. So I'll get it sorted as soon as.
Yeah, no, brilliant. I'd love to do that.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Murray, for coming on the podcast and chatting. I feel like I could chat to you for hours, but I appreciate that it's your evening as well. So I just wanted to say a really big thank you. And thank you for continuing to inspire everyone in the squad and support everybody, because I know just how supportive you are, especially when you were team leader of the pod squad as well. You did a cracking job. That was great.
No, that was great. I had a fantastic team. I had the A team of A teams. It was just a doddle. But yeah, no, thanks to you and Will for everything you've done with the squad. It has been quite incredible, and yeah, all power to you. Keep it going.
Oh, absolutely. Well, here's to another crazy year in the squad. Let's do it.
Yeah, brilliant.